I was furious.
Dude, it's 60% of your grade. There's no out of this.
The only acceptable path I could find in my brain was never to do a homework again. So you know, you have to write a thesis for university, like for graduation. Well, this was the class that teaches you how to write a thesis. We had one homework a week that we had to do for that class. And these homeworks, on average, I don't remember, I'm making this up, but I think they took like, because here's what we would do. Our entire class would get together and collaboratively do the homework. And it would still take like 5 hours. Every single week, 5 hours sitting together. Imagine doing it by yourself, forget about it. Anyway, I think it was like 4 months of this class. So that's 4 per month. That's like 16 homeworks, right? That's times 5. We're talking about, holy crap, we're talking about 80 hours of homework. And that's in a group. That's unethical. And by the way, he told us right from the beginning, these homeworks are very important. They make up something like 60% of your total grade. The first week, I sat with my group. I put in my 5 hours. I'm like, this is going to suck every week to do this, but whatever. And that's just one class out of like so many classes you have. I did the homework. It's done. Anyway, next time the class is around, all right, everybody, turn in your homeworks. Turn them in. Guess what happened, chat? Everyone turned in the homework because it was 60% of your grade. I lost mine. I legit lost it. It was nowhere in my bag. 5 hours of my life gone. Not only that, that's 1 out of 16 homeworks that I'm going to get a 0 on. I don't get angry easily. I'm very hard to get angry. But having my time wasted gets me angry. Unfair things happening to me get me angry. Those two things combined, both my 5 hours of my life gone for nothing, and I'm getting penalized for it. I was furious on the inside. But no one but myself. I was furious at circumstance. I was furious at fate. I was so mad. So do you know what I did? Do you know where my logic went to? Do you know what I decided to do? I had to do something to calm myself down. The only acceptable path I could find in my brain was never to do a homework again. You didn't do your homework ever after, correct? Yes. That was the only acceptable compromise in my brain. I will never do another homework again in this class. Because if I do, I'm accepting that I got screwed over 5 hours of my life. If I never do it again, I can ignore it. It never happened. That 0 I got, all of them are zeros. It is what it is. That was it, chat. I decided never to do another homework in that class. Oh, this class only, yes. Every week, 10 of my friends would get together, sit down, and they would get the homework. And they're like, GrappLr, are you going to come? I'm like, nope. They're like, dude, you're going to fail the class. I'm like, I'll figure it out. And my friends by this time, because this is getting close to the end of university, like, by the end, I mean, like, we're getting close to graduation because we're learning how to do the thesis. They're like, dude, you're going to fail. I'm like, I'll figure it out. Leave me alone. I didn't have a plan. And they all knew I've pulled so much bullshit before. They kind of trusted me, but they're like, dude, it's 60% of your grade. There's no out of this. I'm like, I'll figure it out. Leave me alone, Joe. I'll figure it out. I'm going to go play ping pong. So I was just playing ping pong while they did homework because the place they got together for homework was literally like 30 meters from like the ping pong hall where there was a door where you go and play ping pong. I'd be playing ping pong for hours on end every day. Anyway, all the homeworks were down. All 16 homeworks finished. Now, coincidentally, I know for a fact that when he would teach this class, he didn't own the software, and he would actually teach off his laptop sometimes. So in the university computers, they all had the software, but he would sometimes teach outside of the labs in his classroom, and he had the trial software to teach it because he didn't own it. So I came up with a plan. So something like, I don't know, like a week or so before the grades were going to be put in, I came to my professor with a cheeky smile on my face. And we were in good speaking terms. Like, again, every professor I had, I made sure in the beginning, get on very good terms with them, you know, have some chats. Like, yeah, I'm like, hey, how's it going, professor? He's like, hey, GrappLr, how you doing? I'm like, great. He's like, what's up? I'm like, I got something for you, man. He's like, oh, really? What do you have for me? He's like, let me show you. Do you have your laptop? He's like, yes. I got the pirated version of the software that he uses to teach with the pirate break. I had the hack, the crack as well. I'm like, I got you the software. You don't have to use your trial version anymore. He's like, what? Yeah, let me show you. I installed it. I cracked it. Fully functioning. You know, all the limits off. Bro, he was so happy. Because that software was like a few $100s. He was never going to pay for it for his own laptop to teach. He was so happy. He was so happy, chat. He was so happy when I installed it. You could see the smile on his face just thinking how much less trouble he's going to have teaching the class. And then I dropped, after he was happy, I drop the bomb, okay? But as all things in life, there's a right and wrong way to do things. The wrong way would have been, now professor, now that I gave you this, I need a favor. I didn't do my homework, can you please give me a passing grade? That is the wrong approach. There you're saying, I'm buying you, brother. You know, I'm buying you. No, you never, okay, well, here was my approach, chat. This is called tact. I went to the professor after that. I'm like, professor, I have a problem. He's like, what's up, GrappLr? And I'm like, all right, so professor, you know, like over the last like couple of months, you've given us these homeworks to bring in. He's like, yeah. Well, I have a problem. Honestly, I haven't done any of the homeworks. But, and I interrupted him because I knew what he would say, GrappLr. You know, I didn't want him to get into that part because I needed to push my move. It was about a week to go. A week before he has to turn in the scores for everyone's classes and everything. I said, but professor, all I'm asking is, can you give me a couple of days and I'll do those homeworks and turn them in? That was the move. Why? Because it is humanly impossible to do that in a couple of days. You cannot do what it was about 80 hours of teamwork. If you were to do it solo, that was like 180 hours of homework. There's not enough. If I did 24/7, I couldn't finish them all. So professor, can you just give me a few days and I'll start those homeworks and I'll finish them. I'll turn them in for you. Now keep in mind, this is right after I installed the software for him, right? So I did him a big favor. I made him feel happy about himself. He was super excited. He was really thankful. And then I dropped this bomb of, I have a problem, but please give me a chance to try to fix it, knowing I can't fix it. That's the spot I put him in. You know what he said? Don't worry about it. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the homeworks. I'm like, okay, thank you very much, professor. And I walked away. That's it. Short conversation, no back and forth. Thank you. I don't know. I didn't have any guarantees, chat. I had no guarantees. I walked out of there being a little nervous, but I said, you know what? We'll see what happens. Grades come in. Grades come in, and now my friends are curious. Yo, GrappLr, how'd you do? I'm like, I think it was like only 2 of them who I showed, but like I didn't show the whole group. I'm like, guys, come here. Because when you open your grades on the online grades, you can see exactly all the grades you got for every single piece. It's not just your full final grade. You can like break it down to everything. I opened the homework section. It went like this: 92%, 85%, 78%, 98%. Bro, he put random values for all 16 homeworks. I shit you not. My friends didn't talk to me for like 2 days. They were so pissed off at me. They didn't talk to me for like 2 days, bro. They refused because they were sweating their balls off every week while I played ping pong. They could probably even hear me shouting from the ping pong hall because I would make a lot of noise playing ping pong. Like the place where they did homework was like 30 meters away. Every week they were slaving away on those homeworks, man, while I played ping pong. And they told me every week, GrappLr, you're going to fail this class. I didn't get like straight A's on it, but all my homework's completed. I wouldn't talk to you for life. I should have given you 100 for the free software for life. And he is proud of being a scoundrel. Of course I am. Of course I'm proud. Bruh, it's called strategy, chat. That's why I like strategy games. Listen, when there is a will, there is usually a way.